Page 18, you'll be back. 4/4 time, 2 sharps, we're in the key of D major. Make sure you can play the scale for D major. At least 1 octave up and down, 2 octaves would be better. Take it one hand at a time, make sure we get the notes and the rhythms and all that worked out. First measure, the right hand comes in on the and of 3. 3 and 4 and, because that E is on beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and second finger. So that F sharp is tied. So again, measure 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So reach down for the A. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and the second finger. 1. We've had this before. Sound familiar? Measure 11. You can do a thumb if you want, or you can do a 2, 3, 5. The 2. So measure 12, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1. Then come down third finger during the rest. 1, rest. 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And they say a 2, 1. The idea is we got the black note in the way is the problem, because I don't like doing a 2, 1, 2. But in order to accommodate and connect the notes, we kind of have to here. So it could 2, 1. And a C natural. It gets better and better, don't it? So again, measure 19. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. That's the little finger. So again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3. You can do that or 1, 3, 5, whichever, because you got a rest coming up, you can move. But 1, 4 is fine, because you're going to stay there with the 4th finger on the next measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Remember that B flat is good for the rest of the measure, so that, then you do that again. Measure 23, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Measure 26, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, and so forth. The left hand has some sanity to it, at least. After the introduction, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Then we just get quarter notes. And you do a 1, 3 if you want. You can do a 2, 3. It's up to you. Just quarter notes. Remember that natural sign is good for the rest of the measure. So on measure 4, all those C's are natural. Then going on. Measure 7 again, I do a 2, 3 here. You can do a 1, 3 if you want. I should say a 3, 1. Depends on how big your hands are. Now measure 11, you're down here. I can do a 5 here or here, whichever finger you want to use. It's a B, D, F sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here it gets a little hard. You can do that, because the chord is actually that. You're just not using the A. Or you can do that. Whichever finger you want. Rest. Now, I suggest, this is measure 13 here. I suggest you use third finger or second finger on that. That way you're ready for the next chord here. You're not moving around so much here. It just prepares. Sometimes we use the fingering to prepares us for what's coming up. And this is that I. 1, 2, here. So it's a 5, 1, and then a 5, 2. And then we're ready. And then going on. I do a 5, 2 because of the F sharp and a B natural. They don't need the natural sign. It's a natural anyway, but you just had a flat. They're being clear, and that's a good idea. Be clear. Then I'll measure 17. Now I'm going to stay 5-1 here, and I'm going to do a 5-2 for measure 18. I'm going to kind of pivot on that. This way my thumb's ready for the next chord. Put the hands together at the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Nothing weird about that, is there? Again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 1, 2. At least now you can keep the beat. Now measure 11, look out. That stays down until you play the A. So it's 1, 2, 3. Rest. Idea. The last line of measure 26, it's here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 3. Just like on the main beats, 1 and 4, 1 and 3, 1, 3. You have a rest there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, and that's weird. Then we can do that, put the hands together, get rid of the hesitations, nice and slow, it's okay. And then we can try the articulation, staccatos and slurs. Now at the beginning, the natural accent is on the G. It's 1 and 2 and. Beat 2 normally doesn't get much of a natural accent, but when you start dividing beats up and you're not using the main beat, then suddenly the other beats become important. So it's 1 and 2. We don't want to feel it as a 1. No, it's got a bum ba bum. Then we start a staccato. Hands at the wrist, staccato. Measure 11, staccato went away. You connect these as best you can. So forth. So you go through and put in all the articulation and all that stuff. Then we think about the dynamics. Well, in the introduction, both hands are loud. Then you come down to moderately loud for the melody, and then the other stuff is soft. And you're staying in that area. You don't have to stay exactly that. You can get a little loud, softer. After you get to know it and you start interpreting it and feeling the music, you can get a little louder and softer. They don't show another dynamic anywhere until the end when you get loud like you were at the beginning. So, I mean, you don't want to stay exactly the same level. I mean, that. So think about where you can get a little loud, put in shrills, and get a little. And it's up to you and your imagination, or your teacher will tell you where to go out. Speed-wise, well, a swing tempo. The swing is kind of a counter because now we're going to play this in a swing style. Remember, swing, jazz, and blues, or blues, swing, and jazz. I don't know what order. I don't care what order. They're all played Basically, with counting is different. You don't go 1 and 2 and 3 and. The counting is 1 and 2 and 3. You're swinging it. So the eighth notes are all swung, and you feel it. There's no notation for it, so it's 1 and 2 and 3. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's swing it through the whole thing. You just swing the whole thing straight through. Well, when you swing stuff like that, that slows you down. Because the bump, bump, the short bump is too short. Bum, 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 bum. It's too fast. So that's too fast. So that slows you down. And this is kind of a moderate. It's kind of in the middle. So if you're going to sing it, how fast would you sing it? I'm sure there's recordings of it. My impression of it is that 1, 2.